Stop scrolling. I need to tell you about a book that made death cry. Yes, you heard that right. The Grim Reaper himself becomes emotionally attached to a little German girl who steals books during World War II. And trust me, this isn't your typical war story. What would you do if you could only save your family by hiding a stranger who could get you all killed? Would you risk everything for a stranger? Drop your answer below. The narrator you never expected. Here's where it gets weird and wonderful. Markus Zusak made the boldest narrative choice ever. He made death the storyteller. But this isn't some scary, evil death. This death is ... tired, overworked. He's been collecting souls for millennia. And he's honestly getting pretty exhausted by all the human tragedy. Mind blow moment. Death is obsessed with colors. When he comes for someone, he doesn't see darkness, he sees the sky. Blue skies, red skies, black skies. It's his way of coping with the job. And death has developed a serious soft spot for humans, especially one particular human, Liesel Memminger. Quick question while you rehear. Do you think death would be more terrifying or comforting as a narrator? Comment below. The girl who started with theft, picture this. A train in 1939, Nazi Germany. A little girl watches her brother die. At his funeral, she does something that changes everything. She steals a book called The Gravedigger's Handbook. Plot twist, she can't even read. But here, what absolutely brilliant about this moment. Liesel does unsteal the book because she wants to read it. She steals it because it's the last connection to her brother that she can control. Fascinating detail. Death actually witnesses this first theft and becomes immediately intrigued. What kind of kid steals a book she can't read at her brother's funeral? Liesel gets shipped off to foster parents on Himmel Street. Her new dad, Hans, is basically the gentlest soul alive, and her foster mom, Rosa, well, let's just say she has a mouth that would make sailors blush, but a heart bigger than Germany. What's the most unusual thing you've ever stolen or kept as a memory? Be honest in the comments. The secret that could kill them all. Now, here's where the story gets really intense. The Hubermans are hiding someone in their basement, Max Vandenberg. A young Jewish man whose father once saved Hans's life in World War I. Think about this. In Nazi Germany, hiding a Jewish person isn't just illegal, it's a death sentence for your entire family. But Hans made a promise decades ago, and he's the kind of man who keeps promises even when it could cost him everything. The beautiful irony. While the Nazis are burning books and trying to control people's minds, Liesel and Max are creating their own stories in a basement, using words as weapons against hate. Max makes Liesel a book called The Standover Man. And get this, he creates it by painting over the pages of Mein Kampf. He literally transforms Hitler's words of hatred into a story of friendship and hope. Chills, right? If you had to hide someone who could put your whole family in danger, would you do it? What would it take for you to say yes? When words become weapons, here's something that'll blow your mind. Liesel starts borrowing books from the mayor's wife's library. The mayor's wife, Ilsa, totally knows what's happening. But she lets it continue because she recognizes something in Liesel, the same hunger for escape through stories. But the most powerful scene, during air raids, when everyone's hiding in bomb shelters, terrified, out of their minds, Liesel starts reading aloud. Her voice becomes this incredible force that transforms a shelter full of frightened people into an audience transported by story. Think about this. In a world where words are being used to spread hatred and propaganda, a little girl uses words to bring comfort and hope. The contrast is absolutely devastating. The moment that changes everything. Liesel witnesses a Nazi book burning and actually rescues a book from the flames. Imagine the courage that takes a German girl saving books while Nazis are destroying them. What book would you risk everything to save? Drop the title below. The friend everyone needs. I have to tell you about Rudy Steiner, Sel's best friend, and the boy next door who's absolutely obsessed with Jesse Owens. Rudy has one simple dream: to get one kiss from Liesel. Just one. But she keeps refusing, and their relationship becomes this beautiful, innocent love story, happening against the backdrop of absolute horror. Heartbreaking detail. Rudy once covered himself in charcoal to look like Jesse Owens and ran around a track. When his father found him, he was terrified, not because Rudy looked ridiculous, but because that kind of behavior could get their family killed. The friendship between Liesel and Rudy shows how children create pockets of normalcy and joy, even when the world is falling apart around them. The price of love. Here's where I have to be careful not to spoil too much, but remember how I said death was telling this story. There's a reason he's so invested in Liesel's tale, and it's not a happy one. Without spoiling, let's just say that death has some serious collecting to do on Himmel Street, and it breaks his ancient heart. The war doesn't just take strangers, takes the people we've come to love. But here's the thing that makes this story absolutely incredible. Even when death comes calling, the power of words and stories survives. Liesel's own writing, her stolen books, her shared stories, they become something that even death himself treasures. The ultimate question: can love and words really triumph over hatred and destruction? Zusak's answer will surprise you. Why this story will haunt you forever. Here's what makes. The Book Thief. absolutely genius. It asks not really about World War II. It's about the power of words, the importance of human connection, and how ordinary people make extraordinary choices every single day. Mind-blowing realization. Liesel steals books, but what she's really stealing is hope, knowledge, and the power to shape her own story in a world that wants to write it for her. Death, our narrator, becomes fascinated by humans not because of their capacity for evil, but because of their incredible ability to love, create, and find beauty even in the darkest times. The real book thief isn't just Liesel's Markus Zusak himself, who stole this incredible story and gave it to us. So here's my challenge to you. What would you steal to save? Not material things, but ideas, words, memories, relationships. What's worth risking everything for? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, and some of your answers might just inspire my next video. If this retelling made you want to read The Book Thief, hit that like button and let me know what other books you want me to dive into next. And if you think someone in your life needs to hear this story, share this video with them. Do not forget to subscribe if you want more deep dives into books that will change how you see the world. What book has changed your life? Tell me in the comments below.